This is the Aussie dollar on the 60-minute time frame, and it's a live trade. I've just got in. It's a form of flag pattern, and we can actually see this a lot clearer on the 60, and I've waited for a retest of the candle lows. Actually, sorry, I think it's the 240 we can see on. Retest of the candle lows, effectively a double bottom. So here it is, and very simply, very directional pole. All the candles are red, making our way down. We simply wait for the breakout. You can see we've clearly broken out of the channel here. And what you do then is look for the retest, and I've waited all day for the market to come back down. I do believe it can come a little bit lower. What you also want to look for is structure. Does this come in at structure? You can see we've got a nice level just here, here, and here as well. If we look further left, you can see we have a nice area here and here. If we also throw a fib on, we I thought we came into a 61.8. I must be thinking of a different currency pair. But what we can then do is drop down to one time frame lower and look for that retest. And that retest is of the closes of these candles. Now I've got involved just a little bit earlier, just in case it was to turn at the 240, but we've come a couple of pips now just from the retest of these lows. Stop goes below the low. The ATR here is 11. I have gone 8 pips below the low, so not quite a full ATR because I'm looking at this as being a double bottom. And quite simply then we play for a retest of the highs. We do not play, or at least I cannot play for an extension on this type of trade. I've not been able to make that profitable. So a couple of pips before the closes of these candles on the 240. I'm basing it on the 240 because the pattern itself is on the 240, so I want my targets to be on there as well. We are 5 pips below this 7200 psychological number. It has meant that the risk to reward is a little bit worse than I was hoping for here, but nevertheless still a very nice risk to reward. Okay, just to redraw this out. $23 pips of risk, 43 of reward. I have to say I have a very high win rate on this type of pattern. Particularly, your win rate will always vary from trader to trader depending on their strategy, their entry techniques, where their stop goes, and obviously where their targets go. But for me, playing this as a double bottom with, in fact I am actually just going to give this an extra couple of pips so that I'm a full ATR below it. Playing this at this flag pattern, waiting for the breakout, coming back down for the retest. Very high probability here that we're going to see this rally to the upside. We're back for the final update on this trade, and as you can see we have a lovely winner. God, I do love it when I'm right. I think anybody loves it when they're right. When you can predict a move in the market, I know it has more than a 50% chance of going in your favor with a good risk to reward. When that trade comes off, I think it's a very good feeling. I just want to spend a minute just talking through this trade, because I'm pretty sure that I said in the first part of the video, which was done yesterday for me, obviously for you guys it was just a few seconds ago, I did say on this type of pattern we simply wait for the breakout, we look for the retest. If we drop down to the 60, you can see quite clearly here that we did come down to retest the hourly lows, and I did say that this was what I was looking at, and I front run by a couple of pips. And I did say that this trade is very high probability that we're going to see a retest of the highs here, and it came off. And you know, trading isn't rocket science. Trading is just like any other job. It takes time to learn, and as you learn and progress through your career, you get better and better. Ultimately, for me, trading is always psychology. It's trying to stick through those drawdowns, trying to stick through those wins and take the next trade, and having confidence in your system by back testing it. And all of that takes time. It's not something that can be rushed. It takes an awful long time to spend that time in the market actively watching the candles, and that's something I used to do. I used to sit here. I've got probably 7,000-8,000 hours worth of chart time, and I used to just sit and watch the trades and watch the candle by candle and look for new structure highs and look, did we close within the wicks, or are we in trend, are we at even handled numbers? And this is how I came across this particular pattern, because this is not a standard flag pattern by any means. If you do a search of this on the internet, it's not something you can find. But because I'd already learned how to read structure, and I was already aware how to look for poles, for flag patterns, and I tested them, and I came across this so many times that I decided to look into it. And depending how you trade this, you can have up to 70, sometimes up to 80% win rate, depending on the currency pair, time frame, and the formation, and fib confluence and stop placements, and it really is a very, very profitable strategy. And I have a few of these. I've got a very good head and shoulders one, flags is the other one, and they're probably my two most profitable and favorite strategies. Usually this one offers a 2 or 3 to 1 risk to reward. This was just a bit less than a 2 to 1, this one, but very, very happy with it. 44 pips banked. Lovely.